Township Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, December 10th, 2015. I'd like to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call of board members, please?
Yes. Robert DeWitt.
Present.
Eric Sant.
Here.
John Spino.
Here.
Trevor Hayward.
Here.
Lauren Smith.
Here.
John Hatfield.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Seeing as how Mr. DeWitt was acting as a regular board member last month for case we heard the public hearing last month, I would ask Mr. DeWitt if he would participate in the regular voting on that item tonight. Next item on the agenda is approval or correction of agenda. Do I hear any motions to accept or modify the agenda?
I would like to modify it. I'd like to make a motion that we put item number 3, where number 2 is in versa versa. Other than that, we would approve and go ahead with that change.
Okay. Is there a second for that motion?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next item, approval of the November 12th, 2015 minutes. Does anybody on board have corrections or additions to the draft minutes as presented?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve November 12th, 2015 meeting minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Robert DeWitt.
Yes.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
John Spino.
Yes.
Lauren Smith.
Yes.
John Hatfield.
Yes. All right. And as the agenda has been modified, next on the agenda is a case 15-05, Mark Beck, Food Shop, and Colleen Trombley, Benefit Drug, 640 Manatech, Leonard, Michigan. Okay, applicant here this evening. Yes, sir.
Hello again.
Would you have any more information or testimony to present for us tonight?
Well, I submitted earlier this week. You guys asked for shape, dimensions of the field, and elevation, and where the neighbor's wells were. So hopefully you all got a copy of that.
Talking about this, right?
Yes. So that lists out everything that you guys asked for last month.
Where it says, I'm Lance Robinson from Robinson Excavating, working with Mark on the septic field. Where it says 8'10" in the elevation, the septic field is 8'10" higher than that, the lake level.
Okay, that's what that's significant.
Yeah.
If I could refer to last month's minutes. I think one of the things is, elevation, we had asked for elevations all included all the way back to the water line. Given us sort of what I think Mr. Sims, is that what you were asking?
Right, that was my question.
Does that satisfy what your information you were looking for?
Yes, it does.
And I see you've added on locations of neighboring wells.
Yeah, to the west of me, Doug Lowe, I don't have exact location because it's in his crawl space under his kitchen. So I just measured to the far side of his house.
Kind of in the same north-south location as the
Yeah,
arrow you've got in
so
there?
it's plenty, it's plenty distance away from the field, but I couldn't, I'm not gonna call it
Yeah.
crawl space.
And the same thing to the neighbor on the east.
Yeah, his is exposed, so it's, I got the measurements there from our property line and the water, so it's also pretty far away.
Yeah.
That meets the requirements of the health department, Fulton County Health Department, 50 feet.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And the location of the septic field is also approved by the Oakland County Health.
Yeah, it's just
Same
a
spot,
bed, yeah, just
replacing where it
yeah,
was.
That's right where the other one
So
was.
you're replacing the existing.
Yeah.
Will this be higher than the existing
No.
septic field?
No,
About the same level?
same level, yep. We can't go no higher because this tank's preset
Right.
outlet, so,
Yeah,
yep.
remember the pictures you showed the lay of the land? I didn't get a chance to walk over there.
Yeah, it's all level in that area, and then it drops down towards the lake. Yeah.
Right.
And to the south, it pretty much bumps up against that retaining wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else? We'll go along, questions or comments? The thing that bothers me a little bit about this is that in previous cases that we've had over the last 3 or 4 years, we've had requests to deviate from that 100-foot. And in all those cases that have been approved, we've been doing something a little more than usual septic field, which gave us a little more of a standing to look at deviating from that 100-foot. What bothers me in this case is that this is pretty much just a standard septic field, even though it perked well and all that stuff. And I don't see anything unique to convince me that it's going to be any less of a problem than any other typical septic field. It's just asking us to deviate because there's no distance available.
Right.
It seems to me a little bit like, seeing as how this is, the zoning board of appeals is a judicial board, that we would be legislating from the judiciary in this case. My own feelings. I would personally like to see something beyond the standard setup to convince me to deviate from
Well,
health ordinance.
this field is not going to be, he doesn't have a trench field, whereas his system is, the original system was a bed system, where that sand is down there 5 or 6 feet. And we've got to dig out his contaminated sand and put 5 or 6 feet of new sand in there. And then we lay 6 inches of stone with our pipe and 6 inches more of stone. So it's not like it's not a trench field as most of them would be. That sand is there, but the sand that's on the top is contaminated. It's full. and it won't take no more water, so we dig that out and put 5-6 more feet of sand in there. And
Is there anything being done on the lake side of the field to
No.
keep it from migrating at all?
actually, where this field sits, if you look at the picture, and his house, there's where it says a 22.8 wide,
Right.
toward the lake, it doesn't drop off right at the field. There's probably a 20 or 25 foot flat there, and then it starts tapering back by his deck. So, I mean, it's not like you've got a border there between the tank, or between the field and where it drops off. You've got probably a 25 foot, 20 foot of a flat area, and then she gradually starts dropping off.
What type of soil is that in there? Is it something that would block migration?
We have to dig down 6 foot because everything else is clay. And everything on that top layer is clay. So what they did was originally dug the square hole, dug the clay out down to 6 foot where they hit the sand, and then they bring the 2NS back up. So it does have a clay border around it. That's why it's a bed field, because you gotta dig through that clay, put your sand in. So that, where on the outside edges of the bed, there's 6 foot of clay there before you get sand. So you do have a buffer there.
A barrier?
Yep. And that's more chances of it going down, soaking in that sand. But as of right now, over the years, the sewage has blocked that layer of sand off and capped it, so it's not taking anymore. So we dig that all out to good sand, replace it with sand, put our stone, and it'll have about 30 inches of cover of clay over top of that. They'll let me go 30 inches of cover on the septic field. So it's not like that stone is at the very top. It's down in that barrier that's around that a little bit.
So it's more or less like a box.
Basically, you dig I'm gonna dig this hole out 22.8 by 30.
Right.
I'm gonna dig that down 6 feet.
So you're more or less cleaning it out and you're building it back up. And I'm sure that box-like construction has a life cycle before it gets saturated
Yes,
again.
yeah. I don't know how
Apparently about 40 to 50 years.
Yeah, that's
That's what we're guessing.
so.
And the way to do it, we've got to dig that all out and get that good clean sand, so
Right.
we can add our sand. It's called 2NS sand. It's a state-approved sand. So it'll filter through that sand, go into that good clean sand that we hit.
Right.
Yeah, and that's, it's made to drain down like that. And they have a thing, 12 inches minimum cover, 30 inches of maximum cover. The health department doesn't want you no more than 30 inches because they think that someone's going to evaporate. But 30 inches of cover, and we're going to put clay, it's not much going to evaporate, So they give me a minimum and a maximum.
Is there any way to modify a system like that would alleviate drainage down? In other words, you pump it out more often, or?
Mark can install a filter on his outlet of his tank.
Okay.
And that'll collect the fine particles that goes into that field, which would, over 40 years or whatever, block them, that sand. Oakland County Health Department doesn't require it. Macomb County does.
Okay, that's the next question I was going to have. Oakland County.
They don't require it.
Require that.
It's a maintenance thing. Every time he gets his tank pumped,
Right.
there's a T inside the tank on the outlet, and it serves as a vent pipe, and that filter fits in that T. It's a plastic filter. You pull it out, wash it out, put it back in.
It seems to make sense.
Only bad thing about that, it's out of sight, out of mind. People don't, unless it's in their mind and they have it written. Only time they know if it goes bad is when it backs up in the house. the filter part.
But the failure mode is not contamination of our...
Yeah, I mean, his went 40 years, you know. If the system's working right, you don't use no powdered laundry detergent, you use liquid, and you watch what goes in them, they're self-sufficient. I tell everybody every 2 years to pump a tank, and I know of customers that haven't done it in 10 years. And it's just what they flush down there. We've seen kids' toys, plastic toys, you know, in the main thing, so. But yeah, the filter is it's a cheap thing. It's, you know, Oakland County doesn't require it, but you know, I give that to discretion to the homeowners, as long as they don't forget about it. Because you know, they plug up, then I get a call. Tank's overflowing. What'd you do? You know, I should check your filter. So yeah.
Is that what you're kind of thinking?
The better part of the bed field is you don't have trenches. You have a whole bed. So you got a lot more absorption. A normal field is 30 inches wide, and you got dirt or sand, you got your dirt or sand on the side. His is a bed, so the lines are 6 foot on center, so you have 6 foot of stone between each line. So you're going to get more absorption to worse you don't want to go down.
Looking at the old drawing too, that it's shown on the new one, it's showing your well is 23 feet from the water, which makes it just barely 70 or 50 feet from the new proposed.
Yeah, that's a requirement of the health department, 50 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
And they'll measure that and hold me to it too.
Anybody else? Questions, comments?
I'm good.
Okay. This case was open for public hearing last month. Just in the interest of gathering as much information as we can, I would like to open up the public hearing again and allow anybody else that would like to speak to this situation.
Time's 7:46.
Anybody in the public would like to comment or question the board on this variance request? Okay. I guess that's an answer. Thank you. Public hearing is closed, 7:47. If there are no other questions or comments from the board, I would entertain a motion either to approve or deny the request.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Sepp.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that for case 1505, applicant to approve the variance of 27 foot for the placement of the septic field.
Do you have any conditions you'd like to add to that?
I like the idea of that filter. You know, what goes out of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could put something, yeah, I guess, just state with a, what's the name of the filter?
They just call it the filter.
Particular filter.
Outlet filter.
Oh, yeah, with approved outlet filter from tank to field.
Yep. So you'll just have to maintain it.
Okay?
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any comments on the motion? The board? No questions?
I'm good.
Any discussion? All right. Okay. Hearing none, like a roll call vote on the motion. If you have something down there that's intelligible, can you read it back for us?
Eric Sent on application 1505, approve the variance, a 27-foot variance with an outlet filter from the tank to the field.
I guess we probably should define the 27-foot variance of the placement of the septic field from the lake.
From our well. Well, no, from the lake. From the lake.
Sure, you guys would do it from the lake.
Just, yeah, would that, is that better if I phrase it that way? John?
I think that's how it was.
Yeah, to make sure that what is 27 foot.
73 feet from the lake. The plot, the paper that I originally gave you guys shows 75 feet down our house. When we measured it from our well, we took from the well, because it's got to be at least 50 feet from that. That brought us to the same exact spot. So I think the seawall may have changed that over.
Yeah, trying to give you the maximum amount of area for the field.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Are we good? Okay, we're good.
Like a roll call vote, please?
Tony Spino,
Yes.
Eric Sent,
Yes.
Robert DeWitt.
Yes.
Lauren Smith.
Yes.
John Hanville.
Yes. All right.
All set?
Variance
Very
is
good.
approved with condition. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
So just a question on procedure here as far as, I gotta submit something to the health department to get their final permit approval, so I'm just not sure how, do I get something in the mail?
Administration can handle that.
Okay.
We'll have to do an approval of a portion of the minutes, I believe.
We have a form that you'll sign and then I can mail it to you or I'll call you when.
Okay.
Probably in a couple days.
That's the only thing he's got waiting on the permit.
Okay, now the weather's holding out for us.
Yes.
You can call us. I can verify.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
I'm staying here and enjoy that chair, man.
Right. Next order of business is public hearing for case 1506, applicant of Gerald and Joyce PQ. Okay, did I pronounce that? Close? Okay, thank you. Address is 349 Baywood, Leonard, Michigan. Parcel is 0522402-031. The zoning is R1. Applicant is seeking a variance from the township ordinance of Addison Code of Ordinances, Appendix A. Applicant is requesting a 30-foot variance for the placement of a septic field. Article 13, Section 13.03, number 3. And ordinance says 100 feet from the lake. I think you're asking for 70 feet and 30-foot variance. Could somebody present a case for us tonight?
Hi, my name's Julia Turner. I'm with Powell Engineering. We're the engineers that did the design of the septic field. I have a board here to kind of show everybody what's going on. The septic area is placed in the only available area on the lot. As you can see in the front yard, there is their well as well as it's 50 feet to neighboring wells. As far as setbacks, we are meeting the Oakland County setback of 50 feet to the water's edge. In order to mitigate your required setback of 100 feet, we have added a Norweco pretreatment unit. which is that box. It's in place of a regular septic tank, and the way that this functions is it comes from the house and it goes into, there's 3 different chambers in the tank. The first one settles out the solids and functions like a regular tank. The second is an aeration tank, and that aerates the tank and promotes bacterial to eat the organic matter. In the third chamber of the tank, there is a filter, and that further cleans the effluent prior to going to that bed area. What comes out of the tank, it wouldn't be drinkable water, but we say it's about the equivalent quality of rainwater. And please let me know if you have any further technical questions. This septic unit, it's about, as far as if we're talking BODs and TSS, which is measures of poor quality, it reduces those measures by about 70% minimum.
Is there a particular name for this field, this type of system?
Yes, it would be Norweco system.
What's the
The total name is a Norweco Singular Model 960.
Can you spell that for me, Norweco?
Sure, it's Norweco.
Excuse me? Oh, okay. There it is. It's on the, okay, Norweco.
That was singular system?
Yep, singular is spelled Singuli, or I'm sorry, Lair.
Singular.
And it's basically like a miniaturized residential treatment unit that, like, municipalities have the treatment units to treat their sanitary sewers. This is like a miniaturized version of that.
So it's one tank with 3 filtering processes inside of the one unit?
Correct.
Basically, as opposed to in the past, there was 2 or 3 tanks, each doing their own.
Yes, the first chamber functions as a regular tank, and then there's actually a motorized aerator in the second one, and then the filter in the third.
So the aerator is a pump that pumps air continuously?
Yes. I think it turns on as needed, and it's kind of like a motor that goes down, kind of like one of those hand blenders, and that's how it aerates the system.
So it stirs, it doesn't pump air, it stirs
Correct.
the liquid, okay.
Is the drainage field proposed trenched or a solid bed?
It is a bed
It
system.
is a bed. So the existing field will be completely dug out?
We are actually proposing for the existing field to remain. Let me just double check that. Yes, we are proposing to leave that in the ground because that is right above the high seasonal water table, and the Oakland County Health Department doesn't like us cutting to that high seasonal water table.
So everything
So
else.
with that area out of the proposed area, do you have square footage enough to meet the county requirement?
We will actually be building over top of the old system.
Or you can go top of it?
Correct.
So is this gonna raise the ground level in that area?
Yep, it will be raising it, well, it'll be about at the same elevation at the end towards the house, but since there's a slope, it'll be substantially elevated around 2 feet, 2 to 3 feet at the end of the
On
system.
the east side. The west side is staying the same height, the east side is...
South side. North side will stay the same and south side will be
okay.
elevated. Mhm.
Those 2 feet, about even. Yeah,
Well, north is going straight to the road, and the west side of the lot is higher. So it's kind of northwest, southeast, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit variating on the east to west.
compass point indicating true north on our map here.
If I may, it appears you have a toe of berm. I assume this would be burned up with the clay soils.
The sides will be burned with clay. We are doing a 4-on-1 slope, which will be sandy loam, and because of the gradual slope, nothing will extrude out through the burn with that material.
When you use this type of system, does the tank or the unit or whatever require any pumping?
Yes, the first chamber will require standard pumping like a regular septic tank, and the maintenance
Which is how often?
2 years.
Every 2 years, right.
2 to 4 years. And this maintenance is actually deed restricted. With this special tank, there's a deed restricted required on the property, requiring it to keep a maintenance contract with a certified contractor. And there's also an alarm station that's hooked up to this, and if there's any kind of failure in the unit, it will notify, as well as an alarm going off, it will notify the contractor.
We usually end up requesting deed restrictions on our applicants on our end of it, but that's good that you're doing it, your manufacturer's doing it on your end.
For this type of systems, it's also required through Oakland County.
You sell a house and a new owner comes in, you know,
Right.
things could may or not be taken care of, and this way they're...
Is there a seawall in this project?
No seawall.
How was the high water mark determined at that point? Is it as far as what the location of the lake shore is?
Reichert Surveying did the topo as well as dimensioning to that and calling out the elevation of the lake.
Okay, yeah, here's a controlled elevation lake, yes.
Yeah, they have a dam that controls the lake water elevation of the lake, that box at the end, right? Lake controlled that dam.
Yeah, it is controlled.
Yep.
That's something...
No, spillway.
I have a question.
Spillway.
It's still controlled by a spillway.
Regarding the 100-year floodplain with a lake that is, the water level is controlled through a spillway. Where's my question? You know, where does the 100-year floodplain come in to play?
Are you asking if Lakeville Lake goes up and down very much?
They don't.
Well, I'm trying to get at what he
I guess I'm alluding to that if, you know, a lot of times we look at the 100-year floodplains as our criteria, making decisions and dimension variances, but I was thinking about this tonight, that if the lakes are controlled, man-made, man-controlled, then when would the floodplain ever be affected?
Basically, it's not. Lakeville Lake, the shoreline of Lakeville Lake doesn't vary very much.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
we
know
have
what you're
7 days of rain and 7 days of, 7 nights.
The only thing that happens in Lakeville Lake is if it rains enough in inches, it can't get out of the thing fast enough. Within a couple, 3 days, it's right back to where it's supposed to be.
Right, okay. You know, the other thing I can think of, even, I guess, taking it one step further, is in the winter when we have 1.5 foot of ice on that lake, and then we have our spring rains where, you know, I guess it's still going to bleed out, right?
It just don't change. Like I said, the only thing that happens is the spillway's only about 6 or 7 feet wide, and if it rains enough, and of course the ground run up and everything, it can't get out of there fast enough. That's the only thing. If you watch how it spills over the boards all the time, it might be this much all the time. It'll get up to this high because it can't get up fast enough. First in a day or two, it's right back where it was.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have the topo. Did you supply us with the topo?
I did not supply you with that. I do have a copy of it here.
Could you tell us roughly what the elevation of the new proposed field would be above
Yep.
the lake?
The lake elevation we have at 951. To the Toa slope, it actually goes up about 3 feet. And then our bed goes up around another 4 feet. So the bottom of the stone, where the water would be coming out, would be around 957. So we're a good 6 feet above the lake elevation.
So basically 0 at the water, 3 feet up at the toe of the berm, and about 6 feet up at the invert, at the pipe.
There's a foot of stone, so that would be the bottom of the stone.
Okay.
To the invert of the pipe, it would be another 6 inches.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. DeWitt?
Well, as usual, the county has approved all this, subject only to our variance needed from the lake.
We're still in the process of the approval process.
Okay, so they have not approved this yet.
They have not.
Is there a proposed timeline?
I would expect within the next month and a half, we would have approval.
Can we act on something that hasn't been okay?
Well, we did in the previous case.
Well-
To tell you the truth, it's catch-22, yes.
Pending the approval, we could
I mean,
probably,
we could say if you don't get approval, then our vote is void. There'd be another month before this board votes on it. So you understand that? We don't make a decision tonight, we wait another month and do our fact finding. So there's another 30 days or so before we would even act again. Your thing might be in by then, but if not, I presume if we come to a positive conclusion that we could say yes with the stipulation that we approve it. And if we don't approve it, then it won't get it.
Okay.
Or if we approve it, if you get your permit.
Yeah, that would be January 14th to our next meeting.
What would be the holdup? Is it just red tape with the county?
This is an engineered system, and we're asking for some variances from their code items just because of the particular soils on the lot. So we will be going to their appeals board next week. And we expect approval at that time, but it could be tabled into the next one, pending some I's dotted and T's crossed. So that would be after your next meeting.
Okay. Well, I think I would request that, pending the results of your local county actions, that we be provided with that information as soon as possible before the next meeting. And see if they have approved what you're planning, or if they have exceptions.
Okay.
All right, have we had an official public hearing on this yet?
Not yet. And if we have no other comments or
I would,
questions, go
I'd like to
ahead.
entertain one more question. You mentioned that you're going to leave the existing system in there. Can I ask why, and why are you taking it out?
I believe I briefly touched on it. It's because the high seasonal water table is right below that system, and excavating it out would give a direct route from the effluent of the new system to the high seasonal water table, and the health department prefers to leave it in and not have that direct line into the high seasonal water table.
Then we build everything else on top.
Will that existing tank be pumped and filled with sand?
Yes, it will be abandoned for Oakland County Health Department.
Officially then, yeah.
So you have done some exploratory on the existing field at that depth that it's at, obviously. Is that how you come to terms with?
When the health department was out there and did their percolation tests, that's where they marked
Okay.
the field depth as well as the hot seasonal water table.
Okay.
Second by Mr. Hibbert.
Nothing more from me?
Okay. Anything else here?
Okay.
Okay. And we got a good clock in here.
Oh, she said we're going to get one.
At 8:09, I'd like to open up for a public hearing. If anybody not directly involved in the case would like to speak about it, comments, questions of the board.
Yes,
Mr. Sargent.
552 Deer Point. Just out of curiosity, what is the side setback from the field to the contiguous property lines? I can't see it from here.
From the easterly property line, it's set back at 13 feet. And then the westerly property line, it's a minimum of 11 feet.
Okay, and the elevation is going to be up 6 feet.
It's 6
From
feet
the
from
high water
from the lake elevation.
Yes.
It's going to be about 5 at the top of berm, above existing elevation.
I mean, my question goes to ground surface water runoff, that the installation of 2 recent engineered systems on the shoreline of the lake have created some issues because of surface water runoff, the swales. And it's a matter of curiosity that I have. What's the size of the field?
It is, one second, about 1,500 square feet, 1,514 to be exact.
Okay, width, length.
This system, it wouldn't be increasing any drainage because the same amount of rainwater is going to fall over the area. We do have swales proposed on the side, but there's a good 50 feet before it gets to the lake, and so it should not impact any drainage to it at all.
But 50 feet between the lake and any disturbed soil. Okay, and that's fairly, that's a 3-foot slope in that 50 foot, right? From the south of that berm. And then the septic area itself will be pretty much level. So we're looking at maybe a 2 to 3 foot slope in that possible 20-foot berm from the toe to the level area.
It's about a 25% slope.
Okay. That sounds even more. Yeah, a little bit of room for some acceleration of runoff, but then a 50-foot area to slow things down somewhat, which is undisturbed. Satisfy your questions, Mr.?
Yes, it does, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any comments to the board?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Hearing is closed at 8:13. Thank you for your participation on that. All right. Any other questions or comments from the board, requests for the applicant?
Sometime in the next month, I'll come out and take a look. Nobody needs to be there at that time, of course. No shortage of mud in Addison Township.
Great. Okay,
I make a motion to table this till the next meeting.
okay.
Second.
Motion and second table, any objections? We really don't need a vote on that, it's our typical mode of operation, so.
Just move this along.
We'll table until January 14th meeting, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you then. And we'll do what research we can, and if you have any more information that you think might be pertinent, please forward it to the office, and we'll be given that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next order of business. Any correspondence received? I'm not aware of anything other than case information. Something? Zoning Board of Appeals matters.
Thank you.
I have nothing to discuss. Anybody talk about anything about our procedures or what we're doing here? All right. Report of the Planning Commission liaison.
Planning Commission is dormant at the point. Nothing in front of us, there's nothing pending, I know.
Okay, makes it rough on the paycheck.
Think I'll go on well. That's correct.
Sure. And, okay, next item, public forum. Anybody wish to share anything or comment or question or
Happy holidays.
or belittle us or whatever, I don't care. All right. Sure, ain't none.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion moved and seconded for adjournment. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.